As of the making of this video, it is, I think, 3 weeks, 3 to 4 weeks since I ran my my first marathon. So I did run my first uh, marathon, and the experience is that's what I'm going to talk about in this video. The the experience is grueling, but it's tough, and it is difficult, and but I enjoy it. So anyway, let's begin. So the gun start for that marathon is 12 midnight. So normally, prior to my first marathon, I've been running for years. Like let's say 2015 to 2013 to 2017, I ran about for 4 years straight, and then I stopped running. So I start running for 4 years straight, and then I stopped running for 2 to 3 years. So I did not think I'm going to go back to running, but eventually I went back. So that's about another 2 to 3 years of running before I did my first marathon, which is about 4 weeks ago. So that's it. So I've been running for in total 8 to 9 years. So I've been doing this quite a long time, and I did stop quite a long time, but this is my first marathon. So the gun start for that marathon is 12 midnight. So I've joined a lot of fun runs before, 10 kilometers, 21 kilometers, and most of the time I am always late. So I started late, and the I've always had a companion. So even if I am late, there were always someone who was later than me, who was also late. So we were together, and at the gun start of the 10 kilometer, the 21 kilometer, and the 5 kilometer, the difference of that is close. So like I say 2 a.m. The next kilometer is going to be 2:15 a.m. and then 2:30. So I've always had a company. So the 42 kilometer it is a huge event, and I was shocked and surprised that I was able to pull it off. Anyway, 12 midnight, I rolled my I went there, and I am late. So I did not I should have anticipated it, but they've closed a lot of roads. So my Grab had to find a road. So for me to get to the starting point, so he had to take a lot of different paths because of road closures at that time. And I arrived about 12:20 a.m. So there were no one around at the starting point. Um, even the ushers, there were no one to guide me. So I don't know where to go, because there were a lot of the starting line and the finish line. So that they don't have a clear direction. Again, it's 12 midnight. I arrived there. There weren't much people in the vicinity, and I had to walk for quite some time before I find the starting point. I got to the starting point. The I think it was turned off. Whatever you see that in the at the top of the banner. So the gun start, the time, it was turned off. So I had to I go back, and just to feel like I'm doing the gun point or the starting point. So the moment I crossed that starting point, there were no runners. So there wasn't anyone around, and I am alone for the duration of the race. That's going to be how it is. Okay, that's how it is. A little surprising because again, I've been late at the 10 kilometer, at the 21 kilometer, and I never had a time where I am running alone. So 12:30, 12:40, I look in front and I look behind me. There wasn't anyone around. There were no runners. Fortunately, every I think every 1 kilometer, 2 kilometers, there were ushers, so organizers who guides they guide the runners where to go, they point, but there were barriers and signs that I can follow. And even if I am on the last part of the race, they still cheer. So let us say they were like seated on the road, they were just talking, but the moment they see me coming, approaching them, they will line up and they will cheer me up. So I think it is good, but so I was running and it starts to rain. So there was a typhoon at the time. So and that's going to be the duration of the race. I don't have a complaint with the rain, even if it went hard. We were drenched. A lot of runners were drenched at the time, so I don't have any complaints about that. So I was like, I thought at the time, the moment I at the 5 kilometer, 6 kilometer, I was like going fine. So I think I can, in my mind, if I did 7, 8 kilometers, or if before I joined a 10 kilometers, since I returned, I can do a marathon. So I finished about 1 hour and 6 minutes for the 10 kilometers before. So I don't bring a watch, but I use the official time of the event that I ran. So it's 1 hour and 6 minutes. So in my mind, I just have to repeat that about 4 to 5 times so I can finish the marathon in 5 hours. I did not finish it in 5 hours, but by the 7th and 8th kilometer, I feel a stomach stitch. So I had to slow it down. I had to almost walk. So I had to almost walk in the rain, and I delayed it a little bit and I wish it would disappear, but it wouldn't. So I had to walk it a little bit, and the stomach side stitch is common in most runners anyway. So I ignore it and I think it will disappear anyway. And it's still dark, so I still have a lot of time. Mm. Um, that's the wrong mindset. I still have a lot of time because I'm going to tell you later why. So I crossed the 18 kilometers, and this is where I will say, I don't like to say injury because many of what I felt crossing the 18 kilometers disappeared the day after. So there was just one nagging injury, but by the 18 kilometer there were a lot of I encountered a lot of problem. So uh, I had a knee pain, and I had a knee pain, ankle pain, and I had a chafing. So my inner legs was supposed to be straight, and it had a red bump after my race. So it was straight and it had a red bump. So I thought I would go to an emergency. Um, and also my outfit for that day for the run, I wear a joggers and a jogger's cloth. It's not exactly waterproof, so it's made of cloth. And my joggers, it has my cell phone, um, my handkerchief, and one banana. So my joggers, it is loaded. So my pockets are loaded. And since the start of the race, I had to pull it up because it keeps going down by by the um, by the weight in my pockets, and it was drenched due to the rain. So my pants and my underwear are heavy because of the rain. So I think that is one of the reason for my skin chafing. So my inner legs, and why it became color red and almost scarred, wounded by the 18 kilometers. So my legs was like rubbing on the inner legs. So it never happened before, okay? But that was only 10 kilometer and 21 kilometer. I never did a marathon in this outfit. So that's of the major lesson, one of the major reflection, major lesson takeaways in this video. The outfit plays an important role because my inner legs, it hurts, and my knees are hurting, and my ankles are hurting. So I could have prevented many of those injuries if I just if uh, if I decide to take this marathon seriously, or if I take my outfit seriously and make it formal in my mind. I also should have um, woken early or arrived at the event early. Again, in my mind at the time, I am always late in fun runs, and I always caught up. Like kasi ganda 10 kilometer that I finished in 1 hour and 6 minutes. So I was late at that time, and I still came in 1 hour and 6 minutes. So that is below. Minus the late, I probably would have finished that for 55 minutes. So in my mind, I can always catch it up. So, and I'm not a professional. I'm not aiming for the podium for any position, or I have to beat this time. I don't do those personal records. I don't have a proper personal record time. I only take my time based on the formal events I have. Like I say, today I'm going to run, and I don't have a watch with me. I don't have a phone with me. I don't monitor my time. So whatever time I have, it is during the last event I joined. So again, in my mind, 42 kilometers, oh, it's nothing. I like to run, so let's do this. And I was so wrong about that. So by the once I crossed the 21st kilometer, and I said, oh, it's going to be easy. So I just have to repeat it again, and I'm done. But that is when the situation became worse. So I cannot lift my knee anymore. And my pants, my crotch area where I had the chuffing, it felt like I had something there. Um, I had um, there's some there's something in there that I had to check, and I did check every now and then, but there wasn't anything because it's just that heavy feeling. So anyway, I forced myself. So I was eventually I caught up. I still caught up the last racer for that marathon. So I caught up the racers for the 42 kilometers, those who were at the last part, and I took them over. Again, the situation is just becoming um, it gets worse with every step I take, and there's still in the path, there's still a long way to cover, and the rain it falls harder now, and it falls harder, so my shirt is wet and my pants. I'm worried about my pants because my cell phone and my wallet are on my pants, so I cannot afford to have my wallet get wet and my pants are wet. My cards are there and I don't want them to be damaged. So it's part of my concern at the time. So by 35 kilometer, I was just walking with other runners who were at the last part of that race. I was just walking and everything in my body hurts at that point. So I just pushed my willpower. The organizer who were at standby told us we can take the easier route so we don't have to pass by this way. But I did pass by that way, and many of the runners who were like me did pass by that way. So we want to finish and cover the full 42 kilometers. And for me, I want to cover the full 42 kilometers because it is my first time. It's one of the reasons I want to. And number two, so I will know how long it is and how it is like next time I run a marathon. So again, I think if you're late and what do you call it? Close. There's a time limit for a marathon. That is why they are telling us just go ahead and skip this part because it doesn't matter anyway. They are about to close. So I didn't, so I still get and forcefully finish the 42 kilometers. So, and again, my ankles hurt, my knee hurts. I think the chafing is the worst of all I felt. I felt so heat in that area. Again, it is raining hard. Okay, it is very very cold. So my top is cold, but below there, it is hot, and I want to take it off. I want to take my underwear off so it does not rub on my skin, and eventually I finished the marathon. So I look up on that time once I cross the finish line, and it is 7 hours and 41 minutes. So I finished my first marathon in 7 hours and 41 minutes. There were about 5 or 6 racers behind me, and on that other side where you had there was the ambulance. So there were ambulance, fire truck, ambulance. So that's the last end. So I finished it at 7 hours and 41 minutes, and I cannot walk after that. That's not what I feel every time I run 10 kilometers. So during those 10 kilometers prior to this 42 kilometers, I always felt I have more energy to go. And the 10 kilometers is not enough for me. So maybe go for the 42 kilometers. But I overdid it. So, and I cannot walk. Usually after a marathon, what I will do is I will go to a coffee shop. After a running event, I will go to a coffee shop and write. So, and the vibe, the atmosphere at the time it is raining, it feels good to write, and it's what I want, but I cannot, and I had to go home. So again, during that marathon, one thing I noticed is it is raining and it is cold and I'm on my own. Those 3 things are not really what I am complaining about. Those 3 things are the positive experience for me. So it is just like me running. I run at night, so it's not in the morning, around 4 to 6 to 8 p.m. So it is night time. And there were instances where I ran under the rain. So if it's raining, it doesn't matter to me. So run the rain during the marathon, it does not. I felt good about it. So that's one thing here. So my chest, my heartbeat. Um, there were instances where I want to sprint it. I want to run it. So many instances where I had to run it, and I know it would feel good, that flow and that runner's high, adrenaline. So I wanted to run it, but I cannot because I cannot lift my knee and my ankle hurts every time I drop it. And my chafing on my upper legs also hurts. So my lower extremities are preventing me from actually running my usual run. So that's one of the reflections I had. The 7 hours and 41 minutes, it could have been a little better, probably 6 hours and 30 minutes if not for all those injuries. So again, I finished the race. I got home and I stripped. I took off my pants and my underwear, and I saw the bump. I never had that bump in my legs, so my legs was like that, and then I saw it, and then like that. It is color red. So in my mind, I should go to the hospital, to the emergency, but I searched it online, and it is normal chafing. So I heard they had to apply Vaseline, and I applied Vaseline, and every time I applied Vaseline, it hurt. I took a bath, the cold water drenching down there, it hurt so bad. There's a burning sensation. My ankle hurts, my knee hurts. So that was a Sunday. Monday, I did not run, but Tuesday, but Tuesday comes Tuesday, um, surprisingly, I felt recovered, and I did actually run. So here are the reflections. There is still, um, I still feel some chafing, but the first pain that disappeared is the ankle pain. So it's gone. So I don't feel any ankle pains anymore. The chafing that I had, that burning sensation I had, it disappeared 1 week later. So just 1 week after, and I don't feel it anymore. So I can run. So my skin was back to its normal. So I did not have to go to the hospital. However, my knee still hurts. So it's the side of my knee. Um, it's not exactly the front knee, it's the side of my knee, at the side and at the back, at the side of my knee that hurts every time. But comes Tuesday, I run, and I run slowly. And 4 weeks later, my knee is still hurt, but it's not the same as the week after my first marathon. So just 4 weeks later, I am almost recovered for my first ever marathon. So here's the medal. So you have a 42 km there, and the design, I like the design. It spins. So it is Galaxy Watch Manila marathon. After the marathon, there were always, liquid, the hydration area. And this time for a marathon, there was supposed to be free food. Part of finishing it at 7 hours, there were no more free food. A lot of the stores that they had on the event, they were closed. And there were also no dehydration anymore. No more Gatorade the moment I finish the run. So, yeah, but the loot box, this is the loot bag. And this is the shirt. and we got an umbrella. I think they just added it because when I got the loot bag, someone else put this umbrella in here because it is raining. So I think this is just a follow up. So you have a tumbler in the loot bag, and then a glass, a drinking glass. Oh, and biogesic. So I think this is also added late because of the rain. One thing I want to note is I expected to get cough and colds. I've been running under the rain for more than 6 hours, so maybe I should get colds. And I drank 2 vitamin C's after my marathon just for that. But and I get colds easily, I get fever easily. But for this marathon and while running in the heavy rain, I did not get sick. I did not get a cold. Did not get a fever. Oh wait, no. It's just a pouch. So there were no biogesic medicine here. It's just a pouch. And you have an Anlane and a voucher code from Nike. So that's it. So I should have finished it earlier. Maybe I should have gotten a Gatorade and I would have received some hydration. And I'm not exactly thirsty once I cross the finish line because maybe it is raining, it is cold, and I drank some of it. Yeah, so major takeaways here is the outfit. This is really, really, really important. I ignore it because look, the 10 kilometer, I ran it with a backpack, so with my laptop, because again, after every running event, I go to a coffee shop to ride. So 10 kilometers before, I ran it with a laptop and with a backpack, with a laptop, charger, and it is heavy, and yet I still finish it in 1 hour 6 minutes. So I don't really mind the weight and the outfit. It doesn't really matter to me. So, but for the 42 kilometer, it's a different stage. It is a different challenge. So I did not bring the laptop bag or the laptop with me or the backpack for the marathon. So I'm not that crazy to carry something heavy for the duration of the race. So again, the outfit matters. Number 2, don't be late. Again, I don't really mind a lot of, I'm not focused on details. I don't monitor my run. I don't know my personal record. I run without a watch, without a music, so I'm not focused on those. But I arrive late, so because of that mindset. So anyway, I can just finish the marathon. So I thought I can coast it. And in fact, my expectation was at least 5 hours. If I can finish at 10 kilometers in 1 hour and 6 minutes, therefore, I can finish a marathon for less than 5 hours because I just have to repeat it. That mindset is wrong. So number 2, arrive early. So I had to be early. And number 3, I think I should do stretching and warm up. Again, I was late, so I was like finding, and I was almost jogging. And I had to start. So the outfit, arrive early. So, it's the basic. And take the 42 kilometers seriously, and make it formally. So I cannot. Another thing is, I ran the 42 kilometers without sleep. So that is common for my bedtime is 12 midnight. So I sleep 12 midnight at 1 a.m., 2 a.m. So that's the time I sleep. So 10 kilometer run is um, is 2 a.m. and I will do that without sleep and I will be fine. But and I did that with the marathon because there were no time to sleep, so it's not part of my sleeping. I don't sleep at 8 p.m., 9 p.m., and I drink a lot of coffee, so even if I force myself to sleep, I cannot. So it's not part of, I'm a night owl, so that's one of the reasons why I said I love running in the rain and in the night. So I love the ambience and the atmosphere of the marathon because that is the setup. Um, that's the time I run. So I run most. I run at 1 a.m. I run at that time. So I thrive on that environment and on that atmosphere. But the 42 kilometers, it's a different stage and I have to be more prepared about it. See, I finished it at 7 hours and 40 minutes, and there were times I thought I'm going to die. The rain kept me motivated. The night, it's what I love about it. It is dark, and yeah, so and most of the time I run alone anyway. I'm a solo runner, so it doesn't matter. But the 42 kilometer, it is a different field, so it requires um, a different mindset. So obviously I'm going to run again the another 42 kilometers. I was planning the next one, which is um, the A6, but I'm short on a budget, and the budget is that I don't have the money to join the race for the A6 marathon. And right now I am waiting for, which is going to be in 2025 for my next marathon. So I will definitely try this again. I love the experience of it. I think if it's done a little earlier, um, you're going to pass a lot of landmarks, beautiful landmarks, that's going to inspire and motivate you to run more. So we were at the bridge and the light. This was around 3 a.m., 4 a.m. There were the night lights were open, and it was just the runners that were passing through this. Okay, there were no a lot of roads are closed, so there were no traffic. We used the major roads for the car on that bridge in Manila. So there were a lot of structure and buildings that we passed. The buildings that we passed during these buildings that were built during the Spanish colonization, probably 200-year-old buildings, 200-year-old bridges. So we went there, and it is a different vibe that time, and I love it. So I think that's the good thing when your run starts at 12 midnight. It gets less crowded. There were no people. There were no other people walking. There were no traffic. So there were a lot of road closures that distract many drivers, but everything else, I love it, and I will definitely run a marathon again. So until next time.